As we told you yesterday morning here on News 5 Today, lingering supply chain issues combined with red-hot housing markets, well, that's made the price of lumber skyrocket, but we just scratched the surface. Our Patrick Nelson joins us live this morning, digging deep on how those costs are impacting home builders and are ultimately being passed on consumers right here in the Pikes Peak region. Patrick.
Good morning, Ira. You know, lockdowns impacted so many of us. They also took a big toll on the lumber industry, including sawmills, which basically sat idle for months. It made it where suppliers were unable to replenish their stockpile like they normally do during the winter, and that shortage drove prices up. Now, the National Association of Home Builders is hoping mills will soon ramp up production because the shortage of lumber has caused prices to go up nearly 250% since last spring. With lumber being a key component of a house, basically the bones of the home, the price spike is being passed on to home buyers. The NAHB says the price of an average new single-family home has increased by more than $24,000 nationwide. But here in Colorado, as we mentioned yesterday, some experts say that number is closer to $36,000. Mark Long is the managing director of Vanguard Homes here in the Pikes Peak region.
We use a lot of it. It's really the biggest component of the house. If you take, for instance, a deck or a fence, that's all lumber. And so the price for those have really went up. I mean, you know, the price of a project, it could triple, whereas it makes the cost of a house go up quite a lot.
Let's dive into the numbers. According to market experts, between 2015 and 2019, lumber traded at $381 per 1,000 board feet. In April of this year, just last month, literally a few days ago, it reached a record $1,104 per 1,000 board feet. Long says home builders across the country are having to adjust for these price increases.
What we're looking at is either not putting as much product on the market, which then drives up or cuts supply even more. And some builders are taking the approach of putting escalation clauses in their contracts, which essentially is going to end up making it not a real contract, because the price, if it goes up 10% over the course of the build, then the owner could balk or get out of the contract.
There is a lot of uncertainty about when lumber prices might come back down, but experts believe these are some of the contributors to what's going on. First, the COVID-19 pandemic. Also, an increase in home renovations, do-it-yourself projects, and people purchasing bigger homes. Mills are having trouble meeting the demand for lumber, trucking delays, and worker shortages at those lumber yards. And while the largest price increases we are seeing on construction materials do tend to surround themselves around lumber, there are other construction materials that are also going up in price. And so we're going to look at that a little bit closer and talk a little bit more about this coming up in just a bit. Always watching out for you, Southern Colorado. Patrick Nelson, News 5.